This hour brought to you by GCNLife.com. Live younger, look younger, feel younger at GCNLife.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Saturday, November 10th. Thank you for tuning in to Wall Street Raw. And as we do each week, we try to bring a whole host of interesting guests on the program, both economic, stock market, political, and spiritual on a certain level. Meanwhile, again, I'm introducing myself, Mark Leibovit. You may recognize me from vrtrader.com. Years ago, had the honor of working with Louis Rukeyser on that old Wall Street Week television program as a quote-unquote elf. And had the pleasure of working with Paul Kangas on the Nightly Business Report for 3 decades as a market monitor guest. And our newsletters do cover all the major markets, covering gold, currencies, stocks, gold, and crude oil are included in the gold letter. We even have a cannabis letter. We launched a trading addict letter with trading ideas day to day, and a crypto letter. So we cover the gamut out there, and we encourage you to go to vrtrader.com and check us out. On the show this week, we hope to have our good friend Sinclair No joining us later in the program, along with Harry Boxer from the techtrader.com. For those of you who may be traveling to Las Vegas next week, I'm going to be at 2 shows. First is the Traders Expo, which I believe is at Bally's, and that's the first couple of 3 days of the week. I am holding a workshop on Tuesday afternoon, and then immediately following that is the big annual cannabis convention. One what I believe is going to be hundreds or even 1,000 exhibitors and probably 30, 40, 50,000 people. So it's a go-to event in that industry. I've been attending that for the last few years. As you know, I do track many of the stocks in the cannabis space, though it appears the sector is in a correction right now. Still, there's a big future for that industry, so I'll be going there all next week. So next week's show, we may be at the convention and maybe a little bit noisy, but that'll be the story when you're on the road. Meanwhile, I have my very first and very special guest with us, Henry Weingarten from afund.com. Henry, thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm wondering really whether marijuana is in the correction or just profit-taking mode. You know, Christmas is coming very soon. People have lots of profits in many sectors, and some people are thinking a little bit early about what to do in 2019. But aside from that, we've been looking at oil. As you know, we've been short, but we've covered ourselves on this. Below 60 is a little bit undervalued, and if it gets to 55, we'll actually reverse and go long. Is one thing. Mm-hmm. Markets, as you know, we're basically buyers on dips, although that's going to change as we get to the pre-FOMC meeting, because they can certainly be the Grinch that stole Christmas. I don't know if they will. They shouldn't, but they probably will. So we'll certainly be locking things in. I think it's still too early. It is nice to see volatility back in the market. Every day they're changing their minds about what's going on, but traders are having fun. But if you're an investor, you have to start thinking about what do you want to own in 2019. Obviously, it's not the same winners of 2018 18. And so people are starting to deal with that a little bit earlier. Bitcoin is incredibly stable, but we think it's highly manipulated because it's so stable that they're trying to just get approval of things like backed on December 12th so that they can enter the mainstream. So it's a rather manipulated space. I don't know if most people realize this, but I think something like 1,000 people own about 70% of all of it, and 70 to 80% of all the bitcoins. And on top of that, about 70% comes from China. So it's a very strange space, and I'd be very careful with that. And we're still maintaining our short bias on that. Gold is still suffering a little bit from the fact that the Fed may be raising interest rates, but I think it's well above 1,200 on its base, and certainly even to go to not to go to 1,300, even 1,400 in the next year or two is unlikely. Although astrologically, it's not going to do too well till next Christmas or the Christmas after. So it does have a lot of headwinds, but it's something you want to own in your portfolio. In the meantime, decide what it is you want to own in 2019 and act accordingly with stops or pulling the trigger.
From our previous interviews, Henry, you were a little cautious for the first half of 2019, thinking that the charts better in the second half of the year. So maybe
absolutely. It's definitely better in the second half of the year. There's a couple of things that can knock it down. There might be a trade war, although we think that they're going to make nice down in Argentina, Xi and our president, so that there could be a rally for that. But there's still going to be some issues with that. And then there's the Fed. If the Fed does December and January, there's no question that people are going to pull back. A lot of people are concerned about interest rates. They're historically low, but psychologically it's a pressure on people. So to me, if they just do 3 this year and 3 next year and do 1 or 2 afterwards, I think that's fine. If they do 4 now, a lot of people are going to freak out, hold back. It's hurting the housing market, but even 5% is okay. They'll go above that, and people need time to adjust, which is 6 months.
Well, they may start investing in maybe not CDs, but maybe 2 to 5 year treasuries at 3%.
Treasuries, no? Yeah. Well, treasuries have to get to the 320 was the one number. It's 350 is the next number. 350 and 4 are the critical ones. So while it's playing around 320, it means nothing. If it gets to 350 to 4, people will then find an alternative. But it'll be held to pay in the emerging markets, though, and in their currency. So they're going to do a lot of damage if they do this.
Yeah, well, the retirees are going to like 4% on their bonds or their CDs. If that happens, that'd be great. But bad for stocks is what you're saying too, right? Yep. Yeah.
Well, it'll certainly be competition.
So on a very short-term basis, between now and mid-December, you'd still be you're still a buyer.
We'd still be buying here as traders. And then looking again what we don't want with appropriate stops, because I still think we'll take out the highs. I don't disagree with the targets that Goldman Sachs had of 29.50. We went to 29.25, and we still have a 29.50 potential target that the markets can go to. And all it would take is Xi and Trump to say, hey, we disagree, but we're going to work it out. Typical Fed speak, and boom, you've got, 2-3%.
When are they meeting in Argentina? Remind me.
I think it's the end of the month.
Oh, the end of
November. I think it's November 30th, December 1st. Oh. And that's enough to be a massive rally. Because that along with the Fed are the 2 big concerns most people have.
Right. Well, that with the Thanksgiving holiday and the Santa Claus rally, it might tie in at that time of year perfectly.
Yeah.
Henry, it's great. You really covered it for us, so you did a great job. We have to prompt you. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund, afund.com. Henry, I'm glad you're back in town, and hope to see you on a future trip to New York. Thank you for taking so much time.
Come visit us, absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Henry, thank you again. Henry Weingarten from afund.com. Well, folks, we're going to have Don Violo joining us up on segment 2, and hopefully we'll reach Harry Boxer here in the next 1 or 2 segments. Market selling off big on, as you saw on Friday, and according to what you heard from Henry, we should be buyers. I sort of agree on a trading perspective. Don't touch your dial, and we'll be right back with you with Don Violo.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally at Heart and Body Extract? We've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Advertising is simple. It starts with someone who has a need.
Mom!
And then gets more specific.
Mom, I want pizza.
Then we add urgency.
I want pizza tonight.
Before you know it, your GCN advertising message is reaching millions of listeners. Listeners who are definitely in need.
We want pizza!
You see, advertising on GCN is simple. Your message meets their need, and the result means new business for you. Tell us about your business. Then let our super creative department go to work to craft just the right message to feed those who have an urgent need.
We want pizza tonight!
GCN has the most affordable national radio advertising rates, period. And millions of people listen to GCN radio programs on over 1,000 AM and FM and XM stations and streaming audio live. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just shoot us an email, advertise@gcnlive.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, November 10th. And our good friend Don Violo has agreed to join us again. Don, as you may remember, authors two great blogs, one called EquityClock.com and the other TimingTheMarket.com. Don's based in Toronto, and we've been good friends for many years. Also, Don's very active in the technical analysis group in Toronto. So if you're ever up there and you want to attend an interesting event, I'm sure Don will help you attend. Don, thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, Mark.
Okay. So no lack of volatility in the markets. We had a big run-up just after the election, at least in the Dow, and to a certain degree the Canadian market as well, and now we are experiencing some profit-taking.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The U.S. equity market moved higher last week despite the weakness on Friday. This is part of the seasonal advance we normally see from late October to the first week in January. The S&P 500 index, from its low on October the 29th, advanced more than 6.5%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained more than 7.5%. Pretty good move. Now, strength was notable after the U.S. midterm election, when concerns about a Democrat control of the House and Senate were relieved.
Yeah, apparently they figure there's a balance there, and maybe the little or no action versus a lot of action. So we did have the big rally. Do you think that was it for the seasonal pop? We still have more time, don't we?
Well, it was such a huge run in a very short period of time of 2 weeks. Very seldom you get this kind of a move of, say, 7% by a major U.S. equity index. So a pullback here of maybe even half of that gain is not unusual. The important thing is that we're now into the period of seasonal strength going right through until the first week in January. So any kind of a pullback over the next week or two is really an opportunity to buy more.
Mm-hmm. And we got, of course, the Santa Claus rally effect. We've got the U.S. Thanksgiving effect, next week or two. And the big story, I was talking to Henry Weingarten about this a few moments ago, the big meeting in Argentina with President Xi from China and Trump at the end of November. If they come to some terms, that could be potentially explosive for the stock market, too, I think.
That could be huge, and particularly will have an impact on U.S. economic stocks, particularly in the mining industry, in the industrial sector, and also in the agriculture sector. So stay tuned. There's a pretty good chance something will get done, at least on a preliminary basis on some of these trade issues, and that'll be very, very positive for U.S. equity markets right through until the end of the year.
So cannabis stocks responded favorably to the midterm elections. Let's talk a little bit about that. They had a big move here, and now they're in a little bit of a correction.
Yeah, they got hit on Friday. That's not unusual because they had some very good news from the midterm election results last week. Michigan voters approved the recreational use of cannabis, and several states approved the medical use of cannabis as well. Now, that's very, very positive for the demand for cannabis going forward. And needless to say, the initial impact was very, very positive on the cannabis ETF up here in Canada, symbol being HMMJ. It advanced about 3% on that news.
But none ran to new highs. We had like a retest of highs in most of the stocks and the indices. So, maybe they've worn their welcome here a little bit. Maybe now they're going to sit back and wait for earnings for these companies. It doesn't look like another series of new highs is directly ahead. You see some trigger that could change that?
Well, there's something important happening next week. A number of the cannabis stocks will be releasing their third quarter results. Now, these companies don't have that much revenues and not that much earnings, but the key is that they're going to be able to announce more news on what their direction is going to be. So that probably will be a positive event going into next week.
Okay, that's good to hear. Meanwhile, there's a big cannabis convention I'm going to be attending in Vegas next week, the premier event. I remember last year all the big Canadian names were at that convention, whether that could be, buy the rumor, sell the news. They rallied into the convention, and now it's sort of over. You've seen that with other sectors as well. So let's talk about the focus next week.
Focus next week is on the seasonally favored U.S. retail sector. The consumers are opening their wallets wider than usual this Christmas. Lots of news from the sector to be announced next week. October retail sales to be released on Thursday are expected to increase 0.4% which is a very, very large increase from its September levels. In addition, major retailers are scheduled to release their third quarter results, including Walmart, JCPenney, Nordstrom, Macy's, and Gap stores. Technical action in the sector recently has been very positive. Just on Wednesday or Thursday, Kohl's broke to an all-time high. So look for lots of good news from the retail sector next week.
Don, I know so much of Canadians' economy is related to oil, natural gas, and so forth. Big correction in crude oil here. What's your thoughts?
Fascinating. On this program in the past, we mentioned the differences between crude oil and natural gas on a seasonal basis. Crude oil on a seasonal basis usually moves lower right through until around the middle of December, and that's certainly happening this year. In contrast, natural gas prices normally move higher at this time of year, right through until the third week in December. And the latter is definitely happening. Much colder than average weather in the western part of Canada and the United States is having an impact on natural gas inventories, which already were at 20-year lows. So we've got a situation where natural gas prices will continue moving higher. Interesting, it has not had an impact on the oil and gas stocks. In fact, the TSX Energy Index reached a new low on Friday. The reason for that is because most of these companies not only produce natural gas, they produce a lot of oil, and they're not doing very well, particularly on Western Canadian crude. So you've got to watch where you put your money. If you were in the commodity of natural gas, you've done very well. It's up over 20% over the last 3 weeks. In contrast, if you're in crude oil, not so much. You've probably lost about 20%.
And about 30 seconds, Don, the gold market, how do you view that?
Historically, on a seasonal basis, gold kind of sits there right now between now and approximately the middle of December. And then from the middle of December right through until the end of February, gold goes into another period of seasonal strength. So don't get too excited about gold yet. You will have an opportunity coming along about a month or so from now. For now, it's kind of hanging in there pretty well what the U.S. dollar index is doing as well. So nothing great there right now, but stay tuned.
Okay, and stay tuned for Don next week as well. Don Violo from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. Don, it's always a pleasure having you, and thank you so much for taking time on the Saturday morning. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, folks, don't touch your dial. We hope to have our good friend Harry Boxer and or Sinclair No with us. So we'll be here at Wall Street Raw waiting for you.
Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. Former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. Join online at www.acs2018.com. CannabisTrader.com. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars.
To join the American Cannabis Summit, visit ACS2018.com or text JOIN to 76280. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Text JOIN to 76280. Text JOIN to 76280 now.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-318-1251. That's 800-318-1251. 800-318-1251.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, November 10th. And as always, we try to get our good friend Harry Boxer on the phone from the TechTrader.com. We are taping this interview on Friday, even though we're broadcasting live Saturday morning, so keep that in mind in terms of some of the prices that we discuss. And Harry and I are going to both be at the Traders Expo in Las Vegas next week, so if you want to stop by, Harry's doing a presentation. Harry, good morning. When are you doing your presentation?
Tuesday morning, 8:15.
Okay, so Tuesday morning, 8:15. It is free. Anyone can come to the Traders Expo. It's at Bally's. I will be doing one, I believe, about 5:30 that same day. And, of course, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be there all week for the marijuana convention starting on Wednesday. Harry, good morning. So tell me a little bit what's happening here. Market ran up big after the election, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback, but we're still in a seasonally positive period. So are you a buyer or where you are in the market here?
I'm extremely cautious here, and I'll tell you why. The market ran up, almost an exact double top on the S&P 500 there, 28.15. If you look back to the last major rally peak, that's where it was. So we have the possibilities of a massive inverse head and shoulder base pattern, but the right shoulder hasn't been formed yet, and it seems to be doing it right now. We're down sharply today with the Dow down 245, and the NASDAQ 100 is down more than 2%, or down 144 as I speak. We had a pretty big negative tick a little earlier, down 1,147 oversold enough intraday that I think we're going to get a bounce in a snapback rally. In addition, on the S&P 500, on the hourly charts, which I follow religiously, we've had 3 waves up. This looks like a 4th wave down. And we're at trend line and moving average support, a little bit above it. In addition, there's a gap there, and it's held that gap as well. So for me, I have triple support in this area. If the market rallies off of here, it would be very positive on a short-term basis, and we could see a swift leg up that could take the S&P to about 2860. That's my next target. But right now we just hit 2770, so we have about a 90-point run up to go if we can hold it here. If we don't hold it here, we could plunge, much deeper down towards 2700. So kind of a critical area intraday. And as I speak to you, we're getting some reversal bars to the upside. We may be getting a rally. Your pictures went positive by a few hundred, so it looks like maybe the rally I was looking for is materializing. The afternoon rally, anyway.
Okay. So, as you know, folks, TechTrader.com, Harry focuses more intraday or very short-term action, though he does have some swing trades going out a few weeks. So talking about his perspective going out longer term is really not the focus of the Tech Trader. But I'm going to ask you anyway, Harry, do you think the bull market is still intact here, or do you think we've topped out? What's your overall impression of the way we blew off here after the election?
Well, it's very possible we've topped out, but I don't think it's going to plunge straight down. I mean, like anything else, you'll get your snapback rallies. My buddy, Avi Gilbert, who's an early wave guy, also feels the same way, that we have a year-end rally to go. But early next year, it'd be very treacherous to as much as minus 20 or 30%. That's what he thinks. I'm not so willing to go along with that yet, but I would not be surprised. Based on the break in many tech stocks and market leaders and the snapback to resistance, if we don't get through these resistance levels and resume this bull market, then we can roll over and get slammed dunk. Very critical time for the markets right here.
Okay. So what's favoring you on the short-term trades? Let's talk a couple of names that you like.
Well, this morning we've traded, it's funny, some of the ETFs, the bearing ETFs for gold, the bull ETFs for natural gas, UGAD, is up 20 today. Huge move. We caught a nice chunk of that. Some other stocks with good earnings came out today. Revlon's up 5.5, and Hertz is up 3, so we have some good trades going on the long side. And I just put a few swing on recently. I'll mention a few names for you. My current bullish swing trades are BCYT, ABZ, ABBV, SDYE, CRNT, Sienna, CIEN, and Acacia, ACIA. I like those. There's one other little one that I follow, AMSC, American Superconductor. I like the way that looks too. There's several very strong-looking charts. The market does rally here. Some of those stocks do very well.
Harry, with the cannabis convention this week in Vegas, the big one, and the fact that we ran up ahead of it, looks like many of these shares topped out. Buy the rumors, sell the news. How do you read like a big name like Canopy Growth, the blue chip in the group?
Yeah, this is the second time I've seen this. When Canada legalized, the same thing happened, and they plunged, and they rallied back. Now they're moving down again. I would CGC under 40 earlier, 38.77 low, currently 40 and a quarter. I think it's reasonable down here. I think the stock could be 50, 60, 80, 100 eventually. But at this point, timing's everything on these stocks, and right now they're very treacherous.
Right. So we do have the buy the rumors, sell the news event. Some investors are saying now they're waiting for earnings reports. I think some of cannabis stocks are reporting next week, which should be interesting, tied into that convention. What about the gold market, Harry? Any views there?
I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced. I mean, they're good day trades, but I certainly wouldn't buy any ETFs for gold until I see better action. I am not convinced that they are broken out yet. Individual, certain stocks look good, like AU, and a few other golds that I follow. I like Kirkland, KL, but I'm not a gold aficionado, not at this point, not yet.
Okay. Well, look forward to seeing you Tuesday or Monday in Las Vegas. And again, to all of your listeners out there, if you want to attend the convention, it is free. Meanwhile, you can go to the TechTrader.com, TechTrader.com, and Harry, you still offer your free 2-week trial, right?
Right.
So go to TechTrader.com and you can sign up and check out Harry's work.
Free trial and no credit card necessary. Just come on in for a couple of weeks and enjoy the ride, and then I'm sure you'll be interested in potentially becoming a member of the Tech Trader community.
Okay, and we enjoy following Harry as well, one of the hardest working guys out there. Nice pleasure knowing you and working with you, Harry. We'll talk to you see you next week in Vegas. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Same to you. So that's Harry Boxer from the techtrader.com. Meanwhile, Harry is talking about the market being a bit oversold here. I'm looking a little bit at the charts, and to me it looked like a blow-off and a need for a pullback. So where I'm standing, folks, at vrtrader.com, we're buyers on a bit of more of a pullback. I like to see a little bit more. Doesn't mean it's going to go down there right away today, tomorrow, but we should be buyers here, I believe, maybe even inch in here a little bit, but I think you could see a little bit of lower prices. I'm looking at the Dow Industrials, for example, and it's around the 25,900 level as we're talking, but 25.5, 25.6 is certainly possible. There's a big gap on the charts there, and that might be a good entry point if you believe the seasonality that we were talking about with Don and so forth, and Henry earlier in the show. But I don't think the rally is over, but we're sort of running into more of a treacherous period here, as many of our guests have talked about. We do have the Fed meeting mid-December, and the expectation is that they are going to raise rates. We're going to talk to Sinclair more about that when we get him on the line. Meanwhile, if they also raise in January, as we also discussed, markets may not like that as much, so we might run into a multi-month, very choppy period. I don't know if a big correction, but anything is possible considering how high many of the stocks are. And if you look at some of the big names like the Apples of the world and Amazon, many of these stocks already have topped out well off their highs, and I guess they can always try to run back to new highs between now and mid-December, but I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. So here you are, Wall Street Raw, and our good friend Sinclair No will hopefully join us here right after the break. Thank you for joining us.
You are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate youth. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for regeneration. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, Medical, M-E-D-I-C-A-L.com. Or call our order line 888-212-8871.
What if there was a social media network only for the conservative?
What if there was a social media network not only for the conservative right general public, but also a platform for conservative politicians and advertisers?
And what if this social media network was the only free speech network in existence?
There is. It's rightsocial.net.
Rightsocial.net, a response to President Donald Trump's direct presidential order.
Rightsocial.net, where you have the right to freely speak your mind.
Rightsocial.net, the right place to be.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-301-5435. That's 800-301-5435. 800-301-5435.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, November 10th, and we have our good friend Sinclair No with us from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. It's that special time again.
It's time for another edition of Banks Behaving Badly.
Sinclair, what's going on with Wells Fargo?
More of the same.
Okay.
It just never ends. It just keeps going and going, and it just never seems to end. It's the most amazing thing. They just found another 145 customers who lost their homes due to a Wells Fargo glitch.
You're kidding me. You're kidding.
No. Wells Fargo said that it was a calculation error in its mortgage modification tool, and they found additional errors. They now estimate that there are about 545 homeowners who lost their homes after they were incorrectly denied a loan modification, and they were deemed ineligible to apply for the home mod program. So legal fees were taken, and apparently the number was a little bit more than what they initially said. They initially said around 400. Nope, 545.
Do these people have any recourse at this point? Is anything in the news about that?
Well, Wells Fargo says it's contacted most of the customers who have been impacted to try and fix their account and offer mediation. But that didn't exactly say that they were coming back to the idea of, returning their homes to them and putting them in a modification program. It's probably too late to do that. I mean, that's toothpaste out of the tube.
Really a shame. Well, what goes around comes around, so Wells Fargo pay the price somewhere down the line, I'm sure. Meanwhile, a lot going on here this past week. As you know, a lot of volatility in the market. Market exploded post election. We had a couple guests on the show today that feel that we're still in a seasonally positive period, and a pullback could still be a buy. But you and I know we have that December meeting coming up and a January meeting on the part of the Fed, which could throw a monkey wrench in the works.
Yeah. I think that the December Federal Reserve meeting is being priced in at this point. That should be the case, particularly after the most recent jobs report that we saw, which came in incredibly strong. 250,000 jobs in October. We're at 3.1% wage growth, 3.7% unemployment rate. You look around at the rest of the economy, GDP looks like it's going to be strong. Yeah, there are some big challenges that we face in this economy as well. But right now, the economy is strong. It is maybe just a little bit too strong for the Federal Reserve, particularly with rates at the current emergency level. They have nothing to fight a slowdown if a slowdown or other problem were to occur in the economy. They're trying to get their monetary tool case filled back up so that they can be ready if they need to be. The sad part is that they almost create the downturn in that process. But I think that the December rate increase is going to be priced in, and I think right now the markets are probably pricing in 2 rate increases for 2019. I think that's going to have to go up to about 4 rate increases for 2019. Although, it's always data dependent, but I think markets are still underestimating how far the Fed is going to go in this cycle.
Right. That is definitely an issue for those who are concerned about what rates could do. Of course, the rates going up provided an alternative for retirees and older investors who've been deprived of good returns for so many years. So 2 ways to look at it, that's for sure.
Yeah, but the sad part is that most of the bond investing that goes on now is done through bond funds. So somebody buys a bond fund as opposed to going out and buying an actual treasury bond that they can hold to maturity. The bond fund gets marked to market at the end of every day. So it's not like you're holding bonds to maturity. You're holding them for the day. And as yields go up, as rates go up, bond prices go down. That's that inverse relationship. So it's not easy times for savers and investors even now. I mean, it's still a very, very tricky and difficult period of time. And it's also coming at a period when the stock market has gone through a 9-year bull market. And you're saying, well, that can't last forever. It could last longer, but I don't know that it'll last forever. There's still the business cycle. It hasn't been repealed. We're going to have another downturn. Question is when. And most people are pointing now to 2020. It could come a little bit early, in part because so many people are pointing to 2020. So if we know it's coming, we speed it up a little bit.
Well, let's look at history. Since 1928, stocks have produced an annual average return of 12% in years when Republican presidents in office and control of Congress is split. So maybe things will be okay for stocks.
Divided government is not necessarily a bad thing for the markets. Look, the market's got some tax reform, got some deregulation. Now that's going to get locked into place, isn't it? The House is not going to change that, and you don't have anybody who can really run the table anymore. You can't run the table through the House and the Senate to get legislation jammed through. It's just not going to happen. So wherever we are now, it's kind of like we're frozen in time. So when it comes to tax policy, when it comes to deregulation, consider that frozen in time. And if you're going to be frozen in time, well, this isn't a bad place to be. I mean, like I said, the economy's doing very well right now. Everything's going well right now. You could keep going at this pace for quite some time.
The big story at the end of the month, Sinclair, I don't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry, is the Xi President Trump meeting in Argentina. That could be a real market-moving event if it works out to the positive.
Yeah, we'll see if anything comes of that. That'll be the G20 meeting. And they are scheduled to talk. Whether they actually talk, whether they actually say anything is another matter. But they're going to continue to talk. So far, they're so far apart, though. I'm just not sure that it's going to be enough to make a difference. Remember that we're looking at adding another $250 billion worth of tariffs against China at the first of the year. If this doesn't all resolve, there's another $250 billion that might be there to be essentially taxed. So, yeah, it's good that there's talks that may be happening down the road at some point in the future. I would certainly hope so, but so far we haven't seen anything really resolved, particularly with China. I know we've worked out some sort of a NAFTA 2.0, although the details of that are now left wanting, and Canada is sitting back going, hey, we don't have everything together yet. It's not a done deal yet. So trade is going to continue to be probably one of the biggest challenges that we run across moving forward, not only in December, but into 2019 as well. A lot of good stuff going on, but that's one of the big challenges that could derail everything.
Sinclair, we run out of time again. There's so much to cover and so little time to do it. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. Sinclair, have a great week, and we'll be doing the show next week from Vegas. So thanks again. We'll talk to you then.
Look forward to it.
Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 and author of the great blog, EatTheBankers.com. And as we do each week, folks, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say on the old Financial News Network way back there in the 1980s. He said, as we say, we will know in the fullness of time.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
In these uncertain times, it makes sense to have a sustainable backup method to cook food and boil water. If your current plan includes using a fuel-burning stove or cooking over an open fire, then there's a much better way. The Minuteman Rocket Stove is a biomass-burning cooking stove that only requires small quantities of sticks and twigs for fuel. The Minuteman Stove is easy to use, smokeless, portable, powerful, and sustainable. For the finest in survival cooking stoves and fire starters made right here in the USA, go to MinutemanStove.com. That's MinutemanStove.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.